Play some. I wish we could play some fucking Black Sabbath here.
Yeah, a little Sabbath.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Not Nine Inch Nails.
The whole Iron Man song, you know.
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe I could play just that. I'll put that in.
Yeah.
Right here.
Movie magic.
Hey guys,
Hey,
how we doing?
Good.
I've noticed something different about you all.
Yeah.
we can see our mouths now.
Unencumbered. You can see
move
my.
our hands
You can
around.
see my crooked teeth the whole time.
Nathan, you got us new mics.
I
We
did.
did.
You got special mics.
I got drunk and got inspired.
Yeah.
And said, let's spend a lot of money on some wireless mics.
I hope you get drunk and
Fuck
get
yeah.
inspired to buy me a suit or something, you know?
Suit?
A suit. I've been in the need of a new suit.
Yeah.
Want to go get tailored?
Okay.
Huh?
Want to go get tailored?
Don't talk like that, Patrick.
Just saying.
Tailored.
You want a suit, man.
You gotta get your
Yeah.
dick measured and your inseam and your outseam and your...
Well, if I need anything done, I know where we can find most of the tools that we need.
Yeah.
Today we met an Iron Man.
Yeah.
Tetsuo the Iron
He could
Man.
iron your suit.
He could iron it. Woo! Okay.
Oh, man.
Okay. So 1989.
Yeah.
Directed by.
Shinya Tsukamoto.
Japan?
So little Japan, little
Okay.
Japan, little history behind this movie.
Yes, please.
It was filmed in 18 months.
Wow.
Most of the cast lived on location.
So
Not
like,
just cast crew lived on
In
location.
that small apartment building?
I guess so.
Okay.
So actually shot over 18 months, or does that include editing and stuff? Or
I believe shot over 18 months.
God damn. That post-production.
And one of the I think the guy that played actual Tetsuo, the one with the hair going up here, said I decided that I would not spend so much time with everybody because everybody was starting to hate each other in the movie. So I would just come around when we were filming. And apparently, this is the Wikipedia. By the end of the movie, everybody had quit. They were so sick of filming the movie. You only had the 3 actors left. So
okay.
they were doing
So
everything.
there was originally more actors. and
No,
cut it
just like the
down?
crew, like lighting
Okay.
and sound, and like all these people were living together, making this movie. And over time, they all got so sick of it and so angry, they were quitting. And by the end, you just had the main few people in the movie. And even Tsukamoto said, he's quoted as saying, by the end of it, he almost burned the film because it was such a bad experience.
So it's kind of one of those cases. If he's like, it must be perfect. He's like, boss, I think it's all right. It must be better. Reshoots.
I think just the reality of doing it was so difficult because you've got
So much stop motion.
stop motion animation using, I guess most of the parts, so the metal objects and the wires and stuff were made from old TVs.
Cool.
The insides of old TVs.
So Tetsuo the Iron Man, I'd never seen it. This was a first watch for me. It's something that I've heard about for a long time. I'm sure you guys are the same. It's just like I've seen images from it. I've heard about it being like it's a visual masterpiece, and I really didn't know anything about it. I would call it kind of like an industrial art house film,
Yeah.
and I still know nothing about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It felt like an hour and a half industrial music video.
Yeah. Just because I don't fully understand. Here's the thing: is I feel like it, like, in my opinion, I think it obviously has some sort of like deep undertone, or it's like supposed to be metaphoric. I just couldn't
you
really
see
pick
it.
up on like.
I have two interpretations of the movie.
There were some things I seen in there, and I think this will be kind of a fun aspect to talk about with it. But like, I personally was picking up on little hints of like I feel like the whole cliche thing of like, we're all robots in society. I did pick up on a couple of hints of like feminism that I thought were displayed in it. I don't know. It's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of the robot dick.
Well, yeah. Basically, I think that was a pretty good one. That was a pretty
She
big
did
one.
climb on it herself.
Yeah,
though.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, you know.
Yeah.
I guess she was thinking, oh, he's gonna die, I'm gonna die too. That's why she did that.
Yeah, could
So
be.
let's I'm gonna try to give the straightforward sort of the very straightforward interpretation of what this movie is about.
Okay.
If I can
The
attempt.
first layer of it.
Yeah, the obvious layer. The obvious layer is you've got this guy who is he's obsessed with metal. We see at the beginning he cuts his leg open and inserts a pipe into his leg.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're obsessed with
He's
metal.
in this like his little constructed metal wire dungeon kind of thing that he lives in. And
Did you notice all the running people that he had in there?
I did see that.
Yep, I have a
Like
point
he's
about that,
trying
too.
to say construct himself to be the perfect
exactly
human.
Yep. To be better than he is.
So he does
Just
this,
do it.
And it immediately goes forward to him taking the bandages off, and he's got all these maggots crawling out of this open wound in his leg. He freaks out. He's stumbling in the street. He gets hit by a car. Two people driving this car are this salaryman guy in the suit and his girlfriend.
The tramp.
Yeah,
think
the
it was called
whore.
Tramp.
The whore, the tramp. Feminist message.
You'll find out why.
So they hit him. They hit this guy. That has this obsession with metal, like a fetish. They grab him and they dump him in their car and they take him out and they dump him in the woods and then they fuck like over his corpse.
He's watching them.
He's watching them. Yeah. They think he's dead, but he's not. And then we see the salaryman, which is it's in Japan. It's almost like a class of person. The salaryman. He's got his suit. He works 12 hours a day. He is part of that sort of corporate structure. He starts to notice that it's like he's infected with metal. So he's got like
Iron Maiden tattoos.
He's got like yes.
Judas Priest.
Yeah. He quits bathing. Yes. He's shaving and he's got like a metal pimple coming out of his face and he like pops it and blood squirts out and then
That's what that was.
yeah
Okay. I knew it was a metal thing, but I was just couldn't figure out why it just exploded on him like that.
It's like he got infected.
Yeah.
And and there's this scene where he's sitting at the train station and this woman like sees this chunk of metal and it like latches onto her and there's this long sequence of her attacking him like going after him and he's freaking out. And then he's with the woman that he was with when they ran over this guy and his infection starts to accelerate. So it's like coming out of his face now. His arm is all fucked up.
Oh, and they're fucking.
And then they're fucking.
Yes.
And he goes full mutation. He's got a huge drill dick. It's spinning.
I don't know why ladies wouldn't love to have that.
Yeah, huge metal drill dick.
I feel bad. I sold mine last year.
Yeah.
He
I needed one of those electric toothbrushes.
Oh, those are great. I just got
Yeah.
one of those recently. Yeah, you got to have that.
You get
Vibrating toothbrush.
cheaper. Less to maintain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rachel uses it more than me.
You guys share the same toothbrush?
Huh? She shoves it up her vagina,
Oh.
and then I brush my teeth with it.
Okay. Let's go back to the movie, I guess.
I mean, she climbs on he tries to rape her, and she's like, no, and in very Japanese fashion.
Not necessary. I'm okay.
In very Japanese fashion, she says, yes. It's very much the, please don't, and then I'll jump on your
yeah.
metal dick and then die. Yeah. And now he's completely metal. He's got like wires and you can only see like this part of his face. He's like a metal monster. And at this point, Tetsuo, I think this is Tetsuo, the Iron Man, is the metal guy. He's like, I didn't die. He puts a lot of mascara. He comes out and he can control metal with his mind. And he grabs the pipe outside and you can see like that metal, like it deform and then it goes into the house and he gets control of Tetsuo. And then they have a big fucking fight. And they meld at the end and become a big gay, big gay penis with a gun that takes over the world. That's the surface view. You could also say that this is basically about the guy's guilt for running this guy over, and this guilt is building up in him over time, and it's consuming his life, and he goes crazy. You could also say that is my other interpretation of this movie. What do you guys think of that?
Well, I mean that about covers all of mine, but there is always that thing in the back of your head too, where you just have to wonder. This isn't a knock on the movie at all. I like artsy shit like this.
Yeah.
But you have to wonder, is the director just sitting there like, idiots? There's nothing to it.
Yeah, it's just crazy shit.
It looks cool.
Yeah.
And that's honestly one of my biggest things that I have to applaud this movie for. Yes, it's original and all that cool shit, and yes, it looks good. But man, the fucking prosthetics and shit in this are awesome.
Yeah.
Could you imagine, like, when you said 18 months at the beginning of this, the first thing my mind thought of was like, well, fucking Christ, man. I mean, you're probably spending, 12 hours a day just putting the shit on, That stuff was cool looking.
Yeah.
Got a little experimental with the filmmaking techniques.
Why do you laugh when you say that?
I don't know. No, I mean, it's kind of true. There were, it's black and white, so I mean, of course, that makes it better than any other movie.
Well, no, I know it's like, oh, you're doing black and white.
It comes across as pretentious, but I'm okay with it.
I like black and white. But in this movie, it's perfect because it's about iron. It's about metal. And all those fucking wires of shit were probably all kinds of different fucking colors. Yep. I mean,
honestly, I'm not kidding. I thought it was a cool choice.
It made it. It looks amazing.
Yeah, and there weren't any shots of him like on a beach, with like the tide coming in or anything, and then it goes into like fucking, what do you do, that time lapse video shit? Where he's just sitting there on the beach thinking about life, black and white, the waves, Yeah, so there's nothing like that. So that's
no, it's
too.
all horror. It's all him being horrified at what's happening.
Yeah.
When he was cooking the food, you thought he was cooking his semen?
It's his cum. He was cooking his cum.
They were fucking, and then they were cooking.
It looked like sauerkraut.
I think it was just like sausages. Yeah.
He pulled out of there. It's all a metaphor. You guys can't tell me you didn't watch that.
He was feeding his heterosexuality to her, and then he became gay.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna feed you my soul, and then he's like, you eat my cum. And then,
so you just said gay people don't have souls now?
Is that what I said? I can't wait for that discussion. That'll be a good time.
That's what I heard.
That's what I heard.
Wow.
Well, that's not what I thought. It's a good way of, I don't know, man, you're on to something there.
Taking it to the next level.
No, I spent 3/4 of this movie trying to figure out exactly what it was that this guy was trying to portray and what it was he was trying to get across. And honestly, it was getting to the point where I wasn't allowing myself to enjoy it. I kind of had to turn that off, and I just had to focus on the visuals of the movie.
Trying to make a cool kind of live action anime movie is what he was doing, because when they were fighting and stuff, dude got punched and he's thrown all the way through another part of the city.
Yeah, and he's using stop motion, so there's a lot of scenes in this where he's basically just taking a picture of the guy standing in the city. So take this picture, move a foot, take this picture. So it's a lot of this it looks like this.
Yeah.
And then this, everything's going by them.
I know we bring it up a lot, but I mean, it does. It looks like there was a certain style that mid-90s grunge videos were shot like, and that's it.
Yeah.
You do, 6th Avenue Heartache by fucking, what was her name? Bob Dylan's son? The Wallflowers. You know?
Wallflowers.
Yeah,
didn't know
they're
that
just
was
standing in the
Bob
middle of
Dylan,
that
so-
street, and it's like,
So they
"I'm
ripped
on
off-
that street, you know, and like all the cities going by. I'm saying it's a
Now
very
we know where
popular
they got
technique.
it
It's
from.
the
Tetsuo
wallflowers
the
ripped
Iron Man.
off. Yeah,
This came first.
it did come first. It did. It did. That's some homework right there. Who was the first to do that? No. You looked at me weird there when I said when I wasn't allowing myself to enjoy it. I wasn't mean I disliked the movie. I'm saying that like I was so focused on trying to like find the
No, that's
heart
what I was
of
saying.
the film,
At one
you
point,
know?
was saying like, don't worry about trying to make sense of it. Just
Sure,
enjoy it.
yeah.
It's like an insane roller coaster. This movie, and I at some point I had that same thing you were talking about, where I'm trying to figure it out, and then I go, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna see what happens." And then later on, and then after seeing it a second time, I have more time to really think about what's happening. But
Well, here's a portion of this. If you guys, would like to discuss this for a second, this stuff kind of always intrigues me, because some of the artier movies that I like and stuff, you start getting into that kind of territory, you really get people tend to kind of be like one side or the other. Like with me, like in Harmony Korine so much. Gummo, in my opinion, is very much like an art house film. You know what I mean? And I happen to lie on the side of the fence where I think it's brilliant. Some people watch it and they're like, "Oh my god, this is like terrible. It has no rewatchability."
I'm in
So, like,
between on it. I'm like
that's what I was gonna
50-50
say. That's
on
something.
Gummo, yeah.
Oh, okay, you're talking about Gummo.
Yeah.
See, with this one, that's what I'm trying to think. Like, does this movie have like a tremendous amount of rewatchability for you guys? Is it something that, I don't know. Does like, because this is your second viewing, right?
Yeah.
So obviously you liked it enough to share with us.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Did you understand it more the second viewing?
Yeah, I understood. I feel like the second viewing made more sense. The first time, it was definitely more of a, what the fuck? The whole time is just what I was thinking, and I was very much absorbed in it. This time I was able to sit back a little bit and kind of think about more what was happening. But I still loved it just as much the second time.
Sure. Yeah, no, I mean, I'll definitely call myself out on when I watch some movies like this, because number one, it's actually quite rare now. I used to sort of seek them out. I loved finding these weird kind of mindfuck movies. So there is that bit of me that has become a little bit jaded, where I'll try to, and I'm just like, yeah, of course they're doing this. I've become the asshole.
Look at you. Look
yeah,
at what
yeah.
you're doing.
Yeah. Oh, look at that.
Isn't
Yeah.
that cute?
Watch this, but no, I think overall I would say that I enjoyed this one. I cannot lie. I can't say I would benefit from having a second viewing of it, because for me, I feel myself like almost at a loss of words for the movie itself. I feel like there's like a whole world of conversation that we could have based around films like this. The movie itself, though, to me, I couldn't grasp that much, and I don't necessarily mean that as like it's like taking points off or anything. It was a visual nightmare. I mean, and I mean that in the best way possible. Like, if you're looking for something very claustrophobic in a lot of times, and like just really, like we were talking about the fact that it was filmed and shot in black and white, and with all those prosthetics and everything, it just, I don't know. It just feels tight, and it feels very tense, and it does a really good job, I think, of getting that part of your mind working, where it's like, what is going on? And it's so intriguing in that way that in itself like is very horrific. It is very much, in my opinion, a horror movie, like just based on those aspects.
You're talking about that claustrophobia where it's cutting to Tetsuo sitting in like he's sitting in this water and he's all dirty and he's just surrounded by machinery, and so all this shit's happening, and then it cuts back to him, like, and also hold on, my third layer. There's a third layer.
It's like an onion.
Yes, all of this is happening in Tetsuo's mind is also my other interpretation of this, because there are times when things are happening with the salaryman and his girlfriend, like when they're fucking, and it's cutting back to Tetsuo like in his like little metal dungeon, and he's like, it's like he's orgasming as they're fucking, and it's almost like this is just his mind
As he's dying.
as he's doing whatever he's doing in like his like fucking metal shrine, because he's reacting a lot of times to what they're doing, or at least it looks that way. So that is my other interpretation of this movie, that all this shit is happening in this insane person's mind who's got this obsession with metal and inserting metal into his own body. And there's even, it talks about later on where he's got a piece of metal in his brain.
Oh, it's rusted metal.
Yeah, this piece of rusted metal in your brain, and it's, this guy's saying, well, it's fucked you up. So maybe that's also what's happening. But you talk about that claustrophobic feeling. Every time you see him sitting there, it's really disturbing to me when he's in his little thing, and you just see this shadow, and he's just alone and obsessed and crazy, surrounded by all this stuff, and he's not coming out. Maybe he never comes out. All this shit is just happening in his mind.
Serious question.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is that a part of it, or were you trying to be humorous about your interpretation? One of my big problems, and I know how this can sound when I say it, and I don't fucking mean it that way, but I had sometimes a little bit of an issue distinguishing which characters are what. I didn't pick up on is there actually a homosexual thing going on here? Or is that something that you just said?
No, at the end of it, when they melded together.
Yeah, a little bit.
So could it possibly be some sort of an interpretation of could it be this person wanting to expose who they really are, and they're I
mean, you could go that far with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you probably could. I mean, of course, it's an art house movie. It's got to be a little gay. But yeah, no, seriously. Yeah, you probably could say that. I don't know if that. I don't know if that would be the first way I would go with it. But I think it's in there. Yeah, I think it's in there some.
Yeah. And they're floating upside down.
And they're they're floating in the void, and they're looking at each other, and then they meld.
See, I thought at first, I really did. I thought at first, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I thought at first it was like a fucking umbilical cord connecting the two of them. I didn't realize it was their their arms or whatever. I was just like, are they?
No, it was umbilical because their hands were free.
Yeah.
I thought one of their arms turned into it was molding into.
So many things happened. So many things melded and
look like this.
Morphed.
But, yeah. When they got to the giant penis thing too, he's like, we can conquer the universe with our love together.
He does say,
Okay, is that now? I didn't pick. Am I just an idiot? Did it intentionally look like a big?
Oh, it was clearly
very obvious.
Really? I just
did. When it was behind, it was clearly a big mushroom tip.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a huge. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, with a man with a gun sticking out the top of it.
See, I gotta. I gotta watch this.
I mean, it's very Japanese.
Yeah.
I don't know how many fucking RPGs I've played where at least one enemy is just a giant dick attacking you. It's a giant dick with a face.
And thus began my gaming.
It's a huge dick with a tongue, just like.
Oh man!
This movie, I mean, you might love it or hate it, but it's a fucking mind fuck. It's very unique and bizarre.
Sure.
I fucking love it. Should we go to scores?
Yeah. I certainly don't hate it. I did. I enjoyed myself. And like I said, to a degree, I was having fun, kind of trying to figure it out, until I just sort of felt like that was a lost cause on this first viewing, and I should just, kick back. If you do drugs, I think that'd be pretty fun for this movie.
Psychedelics will help you understand this movie.
Yeah. What was there? It does. It's like something that Trent Reznor would just beat off to, very much so. Have we talked about that? You mentioned Nine Inch Nails, didn't you?
No, I just mentioned industrial.
They're like the poster people for industrial.
Yeah.
Did he have nails in him? Did Tetsuo, did he have 9-inch nails in his body?
Yeah,
I wouldn't doubt it.
Cool.
He liked the rust stuff, so yeah.
I'm going to go with
I guess your score.
well, it's really not that hard. You've only got 5 things.
1.
No. Honestly, I'm gonna go with a 4. I would go 4.5, but I want to do that second viewing. I feel like there's more there.
Yeah. Are you gonna do the second viewing on drugs?
Yeah, get alone, get in the dark, get on drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Just fucking go crazy, man.
So after you guys leave?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, you can borrow.
What is it, Monday?
Borrow this movie as long as you want, man.
No, I did. I liked this one. I liked it. I don't know how much rewatchability it has for me. Except, like I said, I want to attack it again. Maybe let me rephrase that.
You did just say you wanted to watch it.
I do. Well, I want to watch it again to figure it out. But it's certainly nothing that after the second viewing, and that's for homework. Does that make sense? I would like that more for just for my own personal pleasure of being okay, now I have this interpretation of the film and I can discuss it with people. I don't think I would ever just come home from work, pour out a bowl of Raisin Bran, and pop on Tetsuo the Iron.
Yeah, but how? It's not.
Why are you coming home?
It's not a casual.
Raisin Bran?
It's not a casual viewing movie.
Yeah.
It's not Caddyshack. I mean, it's definitely a.
You gotta prep yourself.
It's yeah.
Yeah, I found a lot of comparisons. No, well, I wouldn't try to sound crazy there. I'm just saying. I mean, rewatchability of a movie is important.
Yeah. Patrick,
what you got?
I'm gonna give this a 4 for the imagery in it. A lot of work went into that prosthetic stuff, so I was very impressed by that. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
well, this is obviously a straight 5 for me.
I was really hoping you were just gonna sideswipe the
be-
fuck out of us.
It's obviously a 1.
Yeah, this movie fucking blows.
I've just-
a bunch of losers.
I wanted to see what these idiots would say, but this is a shit movie.
Oh god, that'd be so fun to do that.
No, I fucking love this movie. What I look for in nowadays with all this shit that we've gone through and we seek out different kinds of movies, I'm looking for weird, interesting stuff. And I think this is at the peak of that. This is a peak of a mountain of weird shit that is definitely its own thing. There is nothing like it, and it has definitely inspired movies like Tokyo Gore Police that we love. I mean, Tokyo Gore Police has a big mutant dick in it that is, used as a weapon. I mean, it's it's a clear influence for a lot of that shit. 1989. I mean, there wasn't a lot of stuff like this.
It is very ahead of its time, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I know in Japan there was some anime around that was pretty hardcore and weird, but
That was anime.
yeah, nothing like this. It's hard to do live action anime. It just never. It always comes off as cheesy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love this movie. $5 popcorn.
Cool.
445544.
Is that a cheat code or
4
something?
Huh?
What?
Up, down, left, right. 44544. I don't know. I'm just saying stuff.
I want to be a robot.
I want to run fast.
Yeah, they've got the
The
rocket feet. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, go find this movie. I don't. In the U.S., you're probably gonna have to get that Arrow Video Tsukamoto collection. I don't know any other ways to get it.
DVD? No DVD?
No DVD.
Really?
No VHS.
Damn.
No.
Laserdisc?
It was released on DVD, but you can't find a copy of that for cheaper than you might be able to find it for $150 maybe.
The DVD?
Yeah.
damn.
I mean, before this, now the price is probably plummeted.
Dropped,
So
yeah.
But yeah, so I haven't watched any of his other movies yet. I wanted to wait to watch this again, but now I'm gonna go watch the rest of his shit. So
Are you gonna start off with Tetsuo 2? There is
Yeah.
a sequel to this movie.
Yep. Bullet Hammer.
Bullet Hammer!
Sounds fucking metal.
It does. Sounds badass.
Bullet Hammer. This
Sounds
one's in
like-
color too.
Probably gonna have a hammer dick that shoots bullets.
Sounds like what Sylvester Stallone should have named his kid.
Bullet Hammer.
Bullet Hammer. Bullet Hammer. It's pretty good, right?
It's the one that
I've been working
Barry
on it.
J. Gillis told us about.
Yeah, he was. I've looked after our interview. He was in a movie called Chaos. It fucking sucks. It's so weird. It's about all these dudes like in the woods, and it's like a rape movie.
Huh. Well, even rape.
You know, you're not the first one to tell me that.
The other time was, oh no, stop.
Oh, whoa. Bring my sister into this. Brandon, when him and I first started watching these movies and stuff together, he's like, you know, there's a thing. And I was like, well, it's just horror.
It's a coincidence, man.
Yeah.
Let me show you Nail Gun Massacre.
Nail Gun Massacre.
Starts with a gang rape.
I'm out.